I'm Mel.
And I'm Janelle.
And this is The Murder Mamas.
The Murder Mamas.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So we are doing part 2 of Young-chul.
All right.
I'm really proud of myself for all the name
I'm
pronouncing
very proud.
status that I'm at right now.
One single happy tear.
Yay.
Right.
Okay.
Jump
so
into it. Keep going.
He murdered a bunch of old people. And
so in part 1, we discussed
the murder of his family life that wasn't so great in the beginning, and then what led up to that, and a little bit of history about Korea. And so now we're going to be talking about the history lesson. The other murders that he does, which are not related to old wealthy people at all.
All right.
So this makes it really hard for the cops to figure any of this shit out because they're not connecting any of these cases yet. They have little evidence to go on. You know, he wiped down the scenes. He burned them down. He did leave a shoe print, so they have that. But they're not like anywhere near solving these crimes.
And this is a span, of a few months now?
That was, yeah. And
or
so
like a week?
That was span like a week or two. And then these next murders are like the rest of the year. This only takes place between 2003 and 2004.
Oh, like the end of 2003 to 2004?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he moved out of his mom's house and moved into his own apartment. He was continued posing as a police officer to extort money. I don't know why this is in here, but it says he separated his theft activities from his murder activities. So
again, I think it's in there to make that point that
that's true.
He's doing these murders to prove a point.
Yep.
He's got a message and he's gonna send it.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
No one understands it, but he's sending it nonetheless.
Yep. December 11th, 2003, he met a woman, Kim, 27, through a massage parlor, and he started... No, she wasn't an actual sex worker. She was actually just a masseuse. And
I love how you knew exactly where I was going.
Because the rest of them were sex workers. So.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he met a woman, Kim, 27, and he started falling for her, and they began living together within the first 2 months of their relationship. At this time, he was just traveling around at night, doing his thing, extorting people, getting money. He would give jewelry that he stole off of his victims to his girlfriend. Okay. It's really gross.
It is so gross. It took me a second to think about it.
Yeah. You're victimizing someone and then giving it to someone that you supposedly love.
He's probably getting off on it too.
Yeah.
Right?
Watching her wear it.
And she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. And
secret.
He knows. Yeah.
What a sick book.
Yeah. So he wanted to propose to marry her, and she refused because she found out that he had a criminal background of corruption, an educational background, and had a previous marriage. So
did she find out about the rape?
Well, I think she found, I don't know if it was what she did, but she knew he had a criminal background, and he was previously married. So that was no, I don't want you. January 2004, he was arrested and held 2 days in jail on a minor theft charge. February 29th, 2004, you found out that that his girlfriend had been seeing another man.
Uh-oh.
So an argument came up, and he raped and beat her for 36 hours.
Ugh.
And it says he did something with pruning shears. I don't know what the details are on that. She is alive, so I'm not sure what happened there. But he said to her, quote, "It's not a big deal to kill a child like you. Do you think there is no perfect crime? I've done a lot of things that will never be caught." So he's really sure of himself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are.
Yeah. So she gets terrified, leaves him after she gets out of the hospital and was like, peace out.
I imagine so.
Apparently, he sent her a bunch of apologetic texts to try and get her back, and she changed her address and her phone number, and man. I don't think he ever saw her again.
Listen, man, you don't come back. Like, you don't come back from that. No. That's the ender. No. You know, it's not like a little squabble.
No. That's too much.
That's the one where you're like, you know, you did questionable things with pruning shears to me.
Yep.
And you held me for a day and a half.
Yep.
And I didn't like it.
Yep. So now he's decided that he wants to take out his anger because his massage girlfriend decided she didn't want to be here with him anymore. So he goes to find other women in the massage industry and takes it out on them.
Seems logical.
February 6th, 2004, in Mundung, a 25-year-old woman who worked in a clothing store. He approached her walking through an alley and pretended that he was a police officer. And he said the woman started running because she was like, what the fuck are you? You know, like she didn't trust him. Mm-hmm. So Smart. He stabbed her to death.
Oh.
He thought she was a prostitute, but she was actually, or a sex worker, but she actually worked in a clothing store. So he just killed somebody for, yeah.
Oh, and he stabbed her to death.
And he stabbed her to death.
Has he fully abandoned the hammer creation?
No.
Okay. Still part of us.
Yeah. So, in February 9th, 2004, near a motel in Gangsakdong, Napdonggu, Incheon, there was a prostitute who was called to a motel nearby by a payphone. As she arrived, he used his fake police ID to threaten her, handcuffed her, extorted 100,000 won, W-O-N, that's their, yeah. And handcuffed the woman and killed her with a hammer. How Bokdong Bang work? So that's massage parlors, how they work.
Okay.
None of, like, there's a pimp who owns, like, I guess a bunch of these stores that are all, like, within, you know, distance of each other. Like, a couple, like, he owns many.
I'm sorry, what is a pimp?
He's a man who collects money from his sex worker who performs sexual acts on someone. And he's the one that gets the money. Not her. Well, I mean, I guess she gets paid a little bit.
So he's like the CEO.
Yeah, he's the CEO of this operation. He has more than one operation. So, like, he's got different massage parlors with different women working in there.
Okay.
Now, prostitution is illegal. So he's doing this. So it's like his women are going missing, but what's he supposed to do about that?
Okay.
So, March 16th, 2004, he calls in a business trip massage, which is a prostitution service, and tells the lady to meet him in front of the shopping mall. Miss Kwan, 23, shows up, and he was posing as a police officer busting prostitutes. He used a scanner and a printer to make a fake ID. He bought handcuffs at a market, and he took her to his place with no resistance. He didn't pay her, but grabbed her by the hair, dragged her to the bathroom, and when she tried to escape, he strangled her and then hit her over the head with his hammer. So now he's like, oh shit, this person's in my apartment. Like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get this body out?
Uh-huh.
So he decides that he's going to chop off her head, put it on the paper towel or the roller, and so the blood drips out.
I fucking shut up.
And then start...
Shut your fucking mouth.
Cutting them into 16 to 18 pieces.
Is there a reason why that specific number?
Because those could fit in the black plastic bags that he could carry downstairs with him. He had already studied anatomy on the internet and made a butcher plan of how to and where to make the cuts.
Oh my God.
Yes. He cut off the arms, the
like
legs.
A rotisserie chicken.
And the torso.
Oh my God.
He divided them into 10 small plastic bags and then into 4 large black plastic bags. He took a taxi with the bags.
Oh my God.
And went to a mountain behind Songgong University and buried her under a tree. He kept the black bags with him in case that he left his fingerprints on them. So he took her out of the black bags.
You know, honestly, I gotta give this.
He does think.
That's a lot of thought.
Yeah.
To like cover your tracks.
Yep.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give him credit, but that sounds awful.
No. Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
Did he take the head?
Yeah, the head was in there too.
But he drained the blood.
He hung it on like the paper towel, toilet paper roll holder, and
gives me like a visceral reaction. I literally like ice pick status.
Yep.
Just a head.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right.
Oh.
April 13th, 2004. On 44 was selling porn and fake Viagra. Okay. And so you went to buy some Viagra from him. Showed him his fake ID, accused him of violating the Pharmaceuticals Act, handcuffed him and put him in the passenger seat of his car. On becomes suspicious because he was like, what the fuck? You know, like...
Also, this isn't a cop car.
No. No, back into his own car. The guy's car.
Oh.
Not used car.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had a history with the run-ins with the law a lot because he's selling fake shit. Yeah. And he spotted the fake ID and was like, fuck you, you're not real. So you drove his van while he was handcuffed to the door handle and realized this guy had to die. So he brought out the murdered weapons from his home, got out of the van with his black bag, went around to the back seat, grabbed On's face and stabbed him in the neck and the head. He believed he was dead and laid him back underneath his seat. On started kicking him desperately, so you stabbed him in the thigh and tried to cover him with a bag and then beat his head with the hammer 20 times or more.
No, that's not any overkill.
He ended up cutting himself, so he bled. So he decided to torch the van.
Of course. I mean, we were going there.
He put newspapers and clothes back on him and went back to his apartment, cleaned up, and changed clothes. And then off he went back out again at 1 a.m.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, and now I can't remember. No. Hold on.
I don't remember. Fuck.
No. Took his stuff. No. Oh, I was going to say, something about stabbing someone in their head feels so much worse than like any other part of the body. Just because it's like all skull, basically. Yeah. Like,
yeah. Yes.
You can cut that entire thing. That's just what was in my brain.
Okay. So now he was like, I need to hide the victim's identity and dispose of the handcuffs and dispose of the car. So he parks the car between 2 tanker trucks and tries to set off an explosion. It didn't work, but he did burn the car and the body in there. So it was like he did what he accomplished or wanted to accomplish. This man's family was devastated by their loss. 7 months after this happened, his brother committed suicide. 8 months later, his other brother committed suicide. The remaining brother attempted suicide and now is living with psychiatric treatment to keep him alive.
Aww.
He said he went up to the hill to kill himself and found a dog and decided he wanted to live for the dog, brought the dog back home and put him in his house, and that's who saved him, he said.
We don't deserve dogs.
No. He also... No. He also got a lot of help too. So he's okay. He's not okay, but he's physically okay.
Hard for that one family.
Yeah. That whole, like, he destroyed the entire family, not just one, just everyone. Just gone. In May of 2004, Kim Hee-son, he makes another call to the service and arranges to meet in front of the Green Theater. He wants a woman in her late 20s, early 30s, and he convinces her to go to his house instead of the Green Theater, or like they meet at the Green Theater and then they move to his house. They have sex. The woman sees the handcuffs and feels uncomfortable. Yu takes her to the bathroom and kind of tickles her to like loosen it up and everything. And she naturally crouched into responsive tickling. And so he had a wall, or he had a shelf on the wall of his bathroom that he would just grab and then hit her over the head. So it was just one grab and then hit because the bathroom was very small.
Okay.
So he hit her to death.
With a shelf?
No, with the hammer on the shelf. He placed his hammer on the shelf in the bathroom.
I thought you said he pulled the shelf.
No, I meant the hammer on the shelf.
I was like, what?
Yeah, the hammer on the shelf. That's where he kept it. So, like, his thing was they would have sex, and then the woman would go in the bathroom to wash up, and then he would walk in the bathroom, grab his hammer, and kill her.
Okay.
While she was still alive, he decapitated her with a jackknife.
No.
This time, he took one extra step and cut off the fingertips with scissors and flushed them down the toilet.
Fuck you.
He decided to bury her body out by a Buddhist temple. And he had to start marking where the bodies were so he wouldn't redig over another body that he had hid. May 7th, 2004, Shin Min-ah. He sees a woman, 25, at a computer. He poses as a police officer with a fake ID. He brings her back to his apartment. He murders her by hitting her in the head with a hammer. And by this time, he'd gotten into the routine, and he would stroke her hair and say goodbye before striking.
Fuck you.
He also would, after he had sex with them, make them noodles and share a plate of noodles together. And then she would go in the bathroom to wash up, and that's where he would hit her.
Cute.
Yeah.
Also, it seems strange to me that, like, initially it was like, I want to get back at the wealthy people because I was poor.
Complete 180.
And now he's like, I just want to kill people.
Yeah.
Like, this is way better.
Yeah. Well, he's thinking he doesn't like, because he was rejected by his girlfriend who was a massage therapist. Now he's taking it out on all these other women because they're in the same profession. But she actually wasn't a sex worker. She was a literal masseuse.
Wait, wasn't his wife too?
Yeah. So I think he's like really pissed off.
Okay.
So June 2nd, 2004, Hong Suk-ja, a woman, 35, meets him behind a Hyundai department store. He coaxes her to go to...
Hyundai department store?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Interesting.
Maybe it's a car dealership. I don't know. He coaxes her to go to his place if he pays her more money for the sex instead of doing it out in the open. She agrees. She asks him to shower with him. He strikes her in the hammer in the bathroom. And
you just said he strikes her in the hammer.
And he strikes her with the hammer in the bathroom. June 2004, an unidentified woman had been killed behind the Hyundai department store. So he killed someone behind it. Didn't even bother taking her back to his place.
This is a lot of people.
This is a lot of people, 26.
26?
Mm-hmm. June 9th, 2004, Jangwon at 5 a.m. Yu calls for a woman, 26, at a motel. He poses a police officer and threatens her, shows her his fake ID, handcuffs her, and beats her to death. June 17th,
What does he do with
2004.
her body?
He's doing the same thing. He meticulously cleans the body, scrubs it down, uses a whole bunch of water to, because obviously there's a bunch of blood. He's very OCD. He wants his place clean. So he cleans for hours and then removes the body. So, like, when the police initially went to search his apartment, they found nothing because it was so clean. So, like, they didn't see anything. I'll get there, though.
Okay. So, that last one, though.
Yeah.
You said he met her at a hotel?
Yeah, he met her at behind the hotel and
then
decided to kill her.
Okay, and then, but like convinces her to go back to his apartment.
He did, yeah.
So every one of these, he's taking them back
somewhere. He's
doing
meeting
the
him
same
somewhere
thing.
else and then taking him back.
Like, I'll give you $5 more
Yeah,
if you come
back with me.
Okay.
June 25th, 2004, Woo Jong-ying, he kills her. Used the fake ID police tactic again. July 2nd, Kim Mong-yong uses the police scam on a 26-year-old woman near a service station. While taking her back to his apartment, he found out that she had the same name as his girlfriend who broke up with him.
Is this one particularly bad?
So he sits her on the toilet and hammers her skull in to the point where she could not be recognized. July 9th, 2004, Seon-hee, 24. Same thing. July 13th, 2004, Im Young-yong. This is the last one.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. After disposing of the body, he drove his car to Hakon-dong. Called one of his friends on his cell phone.
He has friends.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesus.
He hung up and because his friend didn't answer, and I don't know where I'm going with that. That didn't work out. Okay. So in 8 months, in September 23 to present, he had murdered 20 people. During this last murder, he got a phone call from his son who said, "Daddy, do you still have a cold?" And he was like, that made me think that he knew what I was doing, and it made him feel bad.
Wait, what?
Yeah. His son had just called him to say, "Hey, do you still have your cold that you had? Like, I'm just calling up to check on you and make sure you're okay." And that, like...
This guy takes meanings from the strangest thing.
Right. So he stopped in the middle of cutting up her course and talked with his son. And then afterwards, continued.
Oh my God.
Now, it is not confirmed, but he has said that he ate some of his victims' livers because it was supposed to cleanse his soul.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, there's that. Now,
that's disgusting.
The way that they found out is that he was calling the same business owner who was a gangster, Mr. No, who was running shady companies under different names and numbers. So he thought he was calling different places, but it was this one guy's dude and all his girls, like, just spread out over different places. So, on July 13th, No believed it was strange that a 27-year-old had not come back after she had performed her duties. He believed that she had been kidnapped, and then he kind of started looking into some of his other girls who hadn't returned and is noticing a pattern. So
like, this one person calls.
So this one person, this gangster who is doing illegal shit, calls one of his police buddies that he had and was like, "Yo, my girls are going missing. What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, like, maybe, it's not unheard of to have gangsters pay off police officers.
Yeah. So...
I've seen Narcos.
Yeah, seriously.
You've seen Narcos.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good show. The Wire. I've seen The Wire.
Yep.
Sorry.
All right.
Stuff.
So Mr. No called Inspector Yang, whom he knew from the Mobile Investigation Unit. This guy knew that this Mr. No was a bad guy, but like, shit happens. So he calls the cops and says, hey, this number, they trace the cell phone and notice that the same number has been calling these same places. So it has to be the same person.
Okay.
Because it's coming from, they had the last 4 digits of the phone number or something that they were connecting it to. So the cops get out there and they bring a woman cop out to try and get her, like use her as bait. And she goes to him and then she comes back and she said he told her that she was too tall. So he didn't want her. Now, the police took this as like maybe they're onto him, but he, in reality, was saying, you're too tall. I can't cut you up. Like, he had mastered his weight and height of the women that he killed, and they were all petite, short ladies. So this police detective was too tall.
He knew how many bags it took, how much it would take, how much to clean, how much to da-da-da. Like, he knew all.
Yep.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah. They send out another girl, and then
bait a shorter
they're
girl.
just baiting these girls. Yeah, I know. I'm scared. And so the police are all like around looking for this guy, like a ton of them, and he was spotted. He resisted arrest. They tried to handcuff him. They put him into a car. And as they were about to leave, they noticed that he was chewing on something. They thought it was pills and that he was trying to kill himself. So for 10 minutes, they scuffled and beat him to try to open his mouth. But it was the flyers from the different massage parlors that he had in his mouth from all the phone numbers. Because he collected all the flyers. Oh. That's how he got all these girls' names. Uh-huh. And he had that in his mouth. He was trying to swallow it and get rid of the evidence proving that he was the guy because his phone number matched. And then he had all these flyers with the phone numbers that matched the massage parlor.
Yeah. Okay.
So they get him out and they get out the paper as well. So a few hours after arriving at the police station, you realized that these people didn't know of like his murders. They just thought he was a kidnapper and a thief because they didn't know that the girls were actually dead. They just knew that they didn't come back. So they weren't sure what happened.
Okay.
They're like questioning him and they're looking at him and they're like, we don't think this guy can do murders or whatever. Like, he's too short, he's too small, like, he's an idiot. Like, there's no way. A petite little baby. So, like, he confessed, I killed 26 people from an elderly couple in Sinseongdong last September to a woman who disappeared 2 days ago. I'll confess to all the crimes. Just give me an hour, but please let me call my mother first.
Do they let him go?
No. They let him call his mom. He admits to her, Mom, I've killed a lot of people. Then, at 12:05 a.m. on July 16th, he suddenly has an epileptic fit. Detectives get scared and remove his handcuffs because they don't want him to, die. Mm-hmm. And they leave the room to, go get help. And he stands up and walks out of the police station.
No fucking way!
He goes to a motel and stops by a pharmacy and bought 360 sleeping pills. The police...
He was going to try and kill himself.
He was going to try and kill himself, but doctors speculated that would only give him a lot of diarrhea. If he took all those pills, it wouldn't have done anything to him.
Okay.
So they do, they're out and about looking for this guy now. They've got people out there just stopping random people on the street and checking their IDs and doing bag checks and everything.
Yeah.
It was,
a full-on manhunt.
So he was rearrested 11 hours later. So they got him like he didn't get to do anything else.
Did the police go to his apartment in the time when he wasn't?
They did not, because his ID had a different apartment on there.
So when did they go to his apartment?
After this. After they get his address from him. But they had gone to his apartment previously just to check things out.
But when?
When he had been arrested at some point. I don't know. Just realized that they had gone there previously.
During the murder spree.
They had gone somewhere else. That's right, because they didn't have his actual apartment. So they went somewhere else looking, and they didn't find anything, and they couldn't match any DNA because they didn't live there. So, but then when they do go to his apartment after he confesses and they get his statement and everything, they look around and they can't find anything to tie him to any murders. And so they're very frustrated. So they go back to talk with him again. And it's only at that point where the CSI people come in and they're like, you can't hide blood. So we're going to luminol it and figure it out. And as they luminol the bathroom, even though he had he was OCD, cleaned everything, there was blood everywhere. And then the forensic scientist looked up and there was blood and brain matter all over the ceiling. So he hadn't cleaned the ceiling. Oh. From hitting the hammer with the head.
He hadn't cleaned the ceiling?
He hadn't cleaned the ceiling. He didn't think of it, I guess. So that's where a lot of the blood and pieces of brain from different women.
Yeah. You didn't have to.
It's a murder podcast. Okay. So his apartment is searched. The media gets there and notice how clean and orderly it was.
They're inside?
Yeah, they let them inside before they had found the blood. So everything was tampered with.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
They found a black scrapbook on his bed and newspaper articles and personal notes, just random stuff about furniture and cars and computers. He was obsessively neat and noted. He had a sketchbook where he drew some of his victims. Movies were found in his computer desk, but nothing to tie him again to any of these murders. They have blood in his bathroom, but it's the victim's blood. It's not his blood. So they're still not sure that they can charge him and then convict him of anything yet. And they don't even know about the murders of the elderly people. They're not even on the same radar as the sex workers.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, quote, "Do you know what the most terrifying moment for me to commit this atrocity? The moment I was surprised to the point that my hair stood up to the bone is incomprehensible to others, but that was the moment when my son got a call while he was cutting the dead body. Hearing a bewildered voice, I was not surprised, but when he asked, 'Are you recovering from a cold yet, Dad?' he said, 'Dad, I know everything. Don't do that.' I thought he knew, and it gave me chills."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so at this time, Yu was nervous about his son's phone call, so he couldn't even clean up the body, and he had to eat rice instead of ramen to calm his nerves, he said, then to continue to clean up the body.
Oh.
He testified that in order to cleanse his spirit, he ate some of the
interesting thing to say. I had to have rice instead of ramen. Ramen is delicious. It's one of mine Chris's favorite meals to share together.
Good.
And I don't think I'll ever think of it the same.
Nope, you won't. He testified that in order to cleanse his spirit, he ate some of the internal organs, but this can't be proved because he chopped them up so much that they don't really have
Got it.
He also thought that it could cure his epilepsy. Quote, "I thought I couldn't die from epilepsy, so I cut the livers from the corpses of the 4 victims who had been murdered since mid-June, and I ate them right away." At this time, his father was... Oh, no. Okay. Among the 6 people I killed, 6 bodies don't have some internal organs. I have a bronchus disease, so I asked the people their blood type. If their blood type was type O, I ate their internal organs. After I read Oriental medicine books, I also ate organs out of curiosity. In the relation to mutilation murder cases, you said, quote, at first I ground the bodies in a mill, but I gradually felt it was unnecessary. I was scared of chopping the bodies in silence, so I worked while listening to music.
I don't have any words, but I do have a very disgusted face. It's the one on my face right now.
An investigator official said, quote, Young-chul said, quote, I tried to eat brain water, but the taste was too fishy, unquote.
Gross.
And he said, quote, I hope that my notoriety will be widely known by mobilizing people's imagination for what I actually did. I want to be recorded as a hero in the criminal world.
What a fucking narcissist, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a fucking narc.
Yeah. They, now he's arrested and they're trying their hardest to be like, what the fuck? He's confessed to all these murders. We need to tie him to something to get this guy. Because they still didn't know about the elderly people. So it was like...
So, and the only evidence they have is
a
shoe print, the blood on the ceiling.
The blood on the
blood
ceiling.
and the brain matter on the ceiling, and the luminol blood of
and then
the
his
bathroom.
CCTV footage of behind wearing one of the victims' clothes.
But they don't even know about these ones yet, right?
No. Yeah, so they haven't put 2 and 2 together.
Don't even
connect yet.
So really, they have luminol blood and blood and brain matter.
Yes.
And him saying, I've done this.
Yes.
0 bodies, 0 anything else.
Yep.
Do they try to get him to, take him to the bodies? Or...
Yes, they do. And so...
And he just says no?
No, he takes them and shows them everywhere. All the bodies of the sex workers.
Why did he give up so quickly?
I don't know. Well, I mean, he tried to escape, but...
Yeah, but then,
Yeah. I don't know.
It feels like he gave up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted him to not give up, but,
He was top news at the time, and he said, quote, I hope that women do not act recklessly and the wealthy are awakened. And he asked the prison guard,
man.
Do I look good on television news?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So he's sitting outside of the jailhouse and they're doing a media thing on him and he's there. And he's known as the Raincoat Killer because it was raining when he was taking the police to the body. So they put a raincoat over him and a face mask.
I hate that name.
Yeah.
I hate that name.
So
don't ever say that.
The media dubbed him the Raincoat Killer.
Terrible.
Yeah. So
stop dubbing killers any name.
I know, right?
Because
don't give him a name.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
He's called Shithead.
This horrible human who did terrible things. Let's talk about the victims. I really like that in school shootings. They're giving less notoriety to the perpetrator.
Yeah. Because that's what they want. Don't do that. All right. So he's outside this courthouse and Miss Jong, 50, a mother of the Imudong victim, ran up the stairs towards you and said, quote, I am the mother of the Imudong victim. My daughter will not be dead if you guys had captured this man earlier. And she has a umbrella and she starts charging him to poke him because she's the fucking mother of a victim. And the police officer that was right in front of her had both his hands on you. And so when the woman came running up, he kicked her in the chest and kicked her, spin kicked her. So she fell all the way down the stairs and the media went insane. Because the police were the police kicked her and he was they realized the fuck up. They immediately responded and said, we're sorry, but this guy had his hands full. So the only way to protect you was to kick the woman. He didn't know it was a victim's mom. He apologized. So the media was no. Okay, so his trial. He was indicted.
You're better than that.
Okay. So his trial, he was indicted on charges of sexual violence, rape and murder, abandonment, fleeing, burning of a vehicle, concealing a body. And he said that he didn't want to return to court. And he was like, no, I don't want to be here. And so he returned to court 2 years later, recanted his confession about the Dong Dong case. Because he said it was coerced into it by a promise from the police that they would send his son to university and take care of him. They're like, okay, sure, we'll do that, and you're going to return to jail. And he says, quote, you forced me to appear at the next trial. I'm not saying that I will think about it again, but I am saying that I will not appear next time. The judge tells you it's not his choice, and they adjourned. He got pissed, jumped over his seat, ran at the judges, slipped and fell, and then the cops were on top of him. He got handcuffed and shackled and put back in jail. On October 4th was his next hearing. He didn't show. I don't know how.
What?
But he had tried to commit suicide on October 3rd.
Okay, so he was maybe like hospitalized.
Yeah. He had left 2 suicide notes, tried to hang himself with an electrical wire from the fan in his cell. The guard stopped him because he was on 24-hour suicide watch. And then an official at the Seoul prison said, quote, Mr. Yu was adamant that he did not want to appear in court, so we could not force him.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. And
Wait, what?
Yeah. So that day he didn't show up to court. So then the judges prolonged him and had him do another hearing. Oh October 25th, he went because they made him, and he tried to leap at a spectator who was like yelling at him for being an idiot or a murderer. Terrible person. 2 wooden chairs were broken. And then the judge made him sign a statement that said he would stop acting up before being brought back into the court. Because signing a piece of paper is going to stop this asshole from doing anything else in the world. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Hey man.
Yeah.
I really need you to stop fucking doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, shape up, quit it.
Yeah. So he was found guilty of 20 murders, aggravated punishment for certain crimes of theft, etc. He was not found guilty for the murder of Lee Mong-dong on February 6, 2004, another murder that he had claimed. It was later revealed that it was a different serial killer that had actually killed that person.
Oh. Okay.
December 13th, 2004, he was sentenced to death. He looked the judge in his face and said, that's what it should be. Yeah.
You take it all back. I'm so...
Yep.
Okay.
June 2005, the death sentence was upheld by the Supreme Court. The government compensated each of the families up to 10 million won each. Now, in 1988, a law passed promising the government would compensate families for their crimes, and then they also took away the death penalty. It was on a stay of execution. So, like, they gave him the death penalty. There were inmates on death row, but an execution hasn't taken place in, like, 20 years. Like, the person in charge right now is like, no, I'm not going to kill them, but they continue to stay on death row. Like, I won't move them off of death row.
Okay.
So, he's still alive. In jail, he is in the Seoul Detention Center. He shows no remorse. He has a tendency to blame others for his actions. According to the profiler, he's arrogant in his interviews. He thinks of himself as the most intelligent in the room. He reigns as king in prison. First entered the cell looking at a few inmates, he declared, quote, I will surely kill one gangster and one economic offender and be executed.
I hate this guy.
Yeah. And then he said, didn't you know I'm a psycho? Even if I kill you, to the prison guard, I'm already sentenced to death. So he's just threatening them now.
I hate this guy.
He has been recorded as having childish behavior. He destroys the flower gardens outside, like
I
when you
hate
work.
him. I hate him.
He snatches the toupees off of guards.
This one's kind of funny. Like, that's the levity I needed after listening to 2 hours of this guy being terrible. Is like him, a grown-ass man, just snatching toupees. Like, imagine a prison guard being like, oh, you gotta hold on, you gotta glue it extra tight when you walk past you, or he'll snatch it right off your head. Like, oh, I hate this guy, but that was kind of funny.
Yeah. So that's about it. I mean,
imagine the guard being like, I have to get hair. I have to get a hair transplant because you keep stealing my toupee.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh man.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Great. That was terrible.
That was terrible, right?
He's a bad dude.
Yeah. So
He's a real bad dude. How did you hear about him? There's a Netflix documentary.
There's a Netflix documentary. I just looked up.
Hardest time saying Netflix.
Really bad serial killers or something like that.
That's what you Googled?
Yeah.
World's worst serial killer.
Yeah. My Google history is like.
Sounds like a YouTube video.
Yeah.
This is the countdown of the 10 worst serial killers.
Yep. So profilers said Young-chul is regarded as a mixed type mission psychopath, where the wealthy are a negative group in society, business trip masseurs are rotten blood of society, group type targeted for execution, like having a sense of duty or pleasure. They were thoroughly prepared. He tried to erase evidence. He was meticulous in handling of the body. He watched the media closely after his crime to gather power. He targeted women and elderly. He had excessive brutality. He would later brag about the numbers of victims, trying to create a mythology around him. And he said if he wasn't caught, he was going to kill hundreds of people, and that he had no intention of stopping.
You know, honestly, I kind of fucking believe it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's Young-chul, the Raincoat Killer.
Please don't. No. The name, no. No. I mean, just like how low under the radar he flew for so long.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't 10 years, but 8 months is a long time.
8 months is a long time. And
killing
to
people.
Constantly. I mean, it was just one after another, like one a week, you know? Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work.
It does seem like a lot of work. They cut up all the bodies.
Just stop.
And then walk them down the stairs. I think he lived on like the 5th floor. Like, good Lord, that's exercise. And then blatantly gets into a cab. Like, doesn't even have his own car. He gets into a fucking cab or a subway. He took the subway sometimes, too.
Such an ego.
Yeah. He's a really bad dude. So he's currently on death row, sitting.
He's a really bad dude.
He's in his 50s now. Yeah.
He should be in his nothings now.
Yeah. Well, if they hadn't put a stop to the death penalty, he would have been dead.
Actually, no. I don't think people should be killed. But I feel like he
should be killed. I don't think God would have a problem with him being killed.
Well, how close is the church? How close is a church to the prison?
Do that and kill him right in front of the church.
How close is a church to the prison? We need to know.
I don't know. I didn't look that up.
I mean, it's as close as you can get to a police station.
Yeah.
So, wow, he's a bad dude. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was an interesting international case.
Yeah, and it was weird because he changed his motive, which most serial killers do not do.
Yeah, like
they can't.
Sort of
like they're
stuck,
fixated on one type of person, and he went all over the place.
Yeah.
So
shocked he was able to get girlfriends.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram at
The Murder Mamas,
Facebook,
The M Mamas,
Twitter,
The Murder Mamas,
email.
TheMurderMamas@gmail.com.
And if you like us and are happy with our content, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We would appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.